All right, let's be real for a second. Nothing messes with your head quite like a woman who won't let you go, even though she's not really interested. It's confusing. One day she's distant, barely responding to your messages. And just when you start to move on, boom, she pops back into your life like nothing ever happened. Maybe she texts you something random. Maybe she comments on your Instagram post. Or maybe you run into her and she's suddenly so sweet, acting like she missed you. And you're left wondering, what is she doing? Is she interested? Or is she just messing with me? And that emotional whiplash, it can make you feel like you're losing your mind. But listen, you're not crazy, and you're not alone. So many people go through this, and there's actually a reason why she can't seem to fully let you go, even when she knows she doesn't want to be with you. And once you understand what's really going on, it'll be a lot easier to break free from that cycle and start putting yourself first. So let's break this down together. The truth is, people, not just women, but people in general, crave connection. We all want to feel loved, valued, and important. And sometimes, even if someone doesn't see you as their long-term partner, they still hold on to you because you fill an emotional gap for them. Maybe you were the guy who always made her feel beautiful. Maybe you were the one she vented to when she was having a bad day. Or maybe you were just there, reliable, caring, and ready to give her attention whenever she needed it. And losing that? It's scary. Even if she doesn't want to date you, she might not want to lose the comfort of knowing you're around. It's kind of like keeping an old worn-out sweater. You don't wear it out in public, and it might not even fit right anymore. But on a cold night, when you're feeling lonely, you throw it on because it brings you comfort. It feels familiar. And sometimes that's how people treat relationships, like emotional safety nets. But here's the thing. You're not a sweater. You're a whole human being with your own needs, your own heart, and your own life to live. And you deserve to be more than someone's backup plan or emotional crutch. I know it's tempting to rationalize her behavior. I know you tell yourself things like, maybe she just needs time to figure things out, or maybe if I keep showing up for her, she'll eventually realize I'm the one. But if she wanted to be with you, she wouldn't be keeping you in limbo. She wouldn't be giving you mixed signals. She wouldn't disappear for weeks and then randomly text you at midnight just to see how you're doing. When someone really wants you, you don't have to decode their actions like some kind of emotional detective. And I get it. That hope is addictive. Every time she reaches out, it's like a hit of dopamine. You start imagining scenarios where she finally realizes your worth and confesses her feelings. And for a moment you feel amazing, but then just as quickly she pulls away again, and you're left feeling emptier than before. It's a cycle, and the longer you stay in it, the more of your energy it drains. But you can break free from it. It starts with understanding your own worth and realizing that you don't have to settle for scraps of affection from someone who doesn't see your value. Ask yourself, why are you holding on to someone who only reaches out when it's convenient for them? Why are you sacrificing your peace of mind for someone who only gives you just enough attention to keep you hooked, but never enough to build anything real? I know it hurts. I know walking away feels like giving up on something you really wanted. But sometimes letting go isn't about giving up. It's about choosing yourself. It's about recognizing that you deserve a love that's certain, not one that's conditional or inconsistent. And trust me, the moment you start prioritizing yourself, everything changes. When you stop chasing people who don't see your worth, you make space for people who do. And I promise, there are people out there who will want to show up for you. People who won't make you question where you stand. But you won't find them if you're still tethered to someone who keeps you around as an option. So maybe today is the day you stop checking her social media. Maybe today is the day you don't reply to that late night "I miss you" text. Maybe today is the day you start putting all the love you were giving her back into yourself. And I promise, as hard as that first step is, you'll thank yourself for it later. Because once you finally let go of what's not meant for you, you make room for what is. If this spoke to you, let me know in the comments. And remember, you are worthy of a love that chooses you every single day. I'm rooting for you. I know how hard it is to let go of someone you care about, especially when it feels like they have this invisible hold on you. Like no matter how many times you try to move on, they always find a way to pull you back in. And what makes it even worse is that they might not even want to be with you, but they still won't fully let you go either. It's exhausting, isn't it? One day you feel like you're finally starting to heal, like you can finally breathe again without thinking about her. And then, boom, she texts you out of nowhere. Maybe it's something innocent like, "Hey, hope you're doing okay." Or maybe it's even more confusing like, "I miss you." And suddenly all the progress you made just evaporates. You start replaying every moment you shared, analyzing every word she said, trying to figure out if this means she finally realizes she wants you. But then, nothing changes. She talks to you for a few days, maybe even flirts a little, but then she fades away again, and you're left exactly where you started, wondering why you keep letting her back into your life when all she does is break your heart a little more each time. I want you to know that this cycle you're caught in, it's not a reflection of your worth. It doesn't mean you're not enough or that you did something wrong. Sometimes people hold on to others not because they want to build something real, but because they don't want to lose the comfort of knowing someone loves them. Maybe she likes the attention. Maybe your presence fills a void in her life. Or maybe she doesn't even understand her own emotions, and she's using you as an emotional safety net without realizing the damage she's causing. But no matter the reason, you don't deserve to be someone's emotional backup plan. I know it's painful to hear, but if someone truly wants to be with you, they won't keep you in this constant state of uncertainty. Real love doesn't leave you feeling anxious or confused. It doesn't come in waves, showing up only when it's convenient. Love stays, and the more you cling to the hope that she'll change, the longer you delay your own healing. Because every time you answer her texts, every time you let her back in, you're reinforcing a pattern where your needs and your peace come second to her indecision. And you deserve so much more than that. Music swells gently, lifting the emotional weight. I know the idea of letting go can feel overwhelming, like you're cutting off a part of yourself. But walking away doesn't mean you never cared. It doesn't erase the good memories or invalidate the connection you had. Letting go simply means choosing yourself. It means deciding that your well-being, your peace of mind, and your happiness are more important than holding on to someone who doesn't fully choose you. And I won't lie to you, it's going to hurt at first. You might wake up every morning fighting the urge to reach out. You might catch yourself checking her social media or rereading old messages. But every day you choose not to go back, you get a little bit stronger. I had a friend who went through this exact situation. He was caught in this endless loop with a girl who only seemed to want him when she saw he was moving on. She'd text him whenever he looked happy, and he'd fall for it every single time, thinking maybe this was the moment she finally realized he was the one. But nothing changed. And one day, after another cycle of hope and disappointment, he just stopped responding. He blocked her number, unfollowed her online, and started focusing on himself. Not out of anger, but out of self-respect. Voice lifting with hope. And you know what happened? He finally started to heal. He rediscovered old passions, strengthened his friendships, and slowly but surely, the ache in his chest started to fade. And months later, he met someone who didn't make him question his worth. Someone who loved him fully and freely, without the constant push and pull. And that kind of love, it exists. But you'll never find it if you keep holding space for someone who can't see your value. And the best part, you don't need to wait for someone else to give you that love. You can start giving it to yourself right now. Maybe that means journaling through your pain instead of texting her back. Maybe it means picking up a new hobby, hitting the gym, or reconnecting with friends you lost touch with. Or maybe it just means waking up every day and telling yourself, I am worthy of more than this, because you are. The love you've been waiting for, the kind that stays, the kind that makes you feel chosen every single day, starts the moment you decide to stop settling for less. And trust me, the day you finally choose yourself will be the day your life changes. You'll start to feel lighter. You'll stop checking your phone every 5 minutes, hoping for her name to pop up. And eventually, you'll wake up and realize you haven't thought about her in weeks, because you'll be too busy living the life you deserve. A life where your happiness doesn't depend on someone else's inconsistency. So if you're watching this and you feel that ache in your chest, that quiet voice telling you it's time to let go, listen to it, because that voice, That's your heart reminding you that you deserve better. And you do. If this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, and I read every single one. And if you need more support, check out the other videos on this channel. I've got plenty of advice to help you break free, rebuild your confidence, and start living life on your terms. But most importantly, just remember this. You are not hard to love. And the second you start honoring your own worth, you'll stop settling for people who can't see it. You've got this, and I'm rooting for you. Look, I know this isn't easy. Letting go of someone, even someone who doesn't treat you the way you deserve, can feel like losing a piece of yourself. It's almost like grieving a future you imagined with them, a future that never fully came to life. And what makes it even harder? The fact that she still pops in and out of your life, keeping that tiny spark of hope alive. She gives you just enough attention to keep you wondering, just enough affection to make you question if maybe, just maybe, she'll change her mind. But deep down, you already know the answer. If she wanted to be with you, she would be. No mixed signals, no disappearing acts, no emotional breadcrumbs to keep you hanging on. I know it hurts to face that truth, but you know what hurts even more? Staying stuck in a cycle where your happiness depends on someone else's inconsistency. Because every time you let her back in, every time you drop everything to answer her late night, "I miss you" text, you reinforce the idea that your feelings don't matter as much as her convenience. And that's not love. That's self-abandonment. But here's the beautiful part. You have the power to break free. It starts with a simple decision, a quiet promise to yourself that you won't settle for halfway love anymore, that you won't keep sacrificing your peace just to stay connected to someone who only values you when it suits them. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Letting go is a process. Some days you'll feel strong and sure of yourself. Other days you'll be tempted to reach out, to check her social media, to linger on old photos and wonder if she still thinks about you. And that's okay. Healing isn't linear. What matters is that you keep choosing yourself, even on the hard days. Because the more you pour into yourself, the more you start to realize that the love you've been chasing, it was supposed to start with you all along. The validation you were looking for from her, you can give that to yourself. The attention, the kindness, the patience, you can build all of that within you. And when you do, you won't even want the version of love she was offering, because you'll know it wasn't enough. You deserve a love that stays, a love that's steady, certain, and overflowing. You deserve someone who chooses you, not just when they're lonely or bored, but every single day, even when life gets messy and complicated. And that kind of love, it exists, but you'll never find it if you're still tethered to someone who can't see your worth. So maybe today is the day you start walking away, not out of bitterness, not out of anger, but out of self-love. Maybe today is the day you decide you're done settling for almosts and maybes, and you start making room for something real. And it doesn't have to be some grand, dramatic gesture. It can be as simple as choosing not to reply to that late-night text. As simple as muting her stories so you're not constantly reminded of what she's doing. As simple as waking up and saying, "Today, I choose myself." Because the truth is, every time you choose yourself, you're rewriting your story. You're teaching yourself that you don't need to beg for love or chase after people who don't see your value. You're building a new narrative, one where your happiness isn't dependent on someone else's inconsistent affection. And trust me, the more you commit to that, the more your life will change. You'll start to feel lighter, you'll get your confidence back, and eventually you'll look back and wonder why you ever let someone's half-hearted attention make you doubt your own worth. Because you are worth so much more than someone who can't make up their mind about you. And I know it might not feel like it right now, but I promise, there's a version of you on the other side of this who is stronger, happier, and so at peace with letting her go. You just have to take that first step. If this message resonated with you, drop a comment below. Let me know where you're at in your journey. I read every single one, and I'm rooting for you. And if you need more support, check out the other videos on this channel. I've got plenty more advice to help you break free from toxic cycles, rebuild your confidence, and start living the life you deserve. But most importantly, just remember this. The love you're looking for, It's already within you. And the moment you start treating yourself with the kindness and respect you've been giving to the wrong person, you'll start attracting people who see your value without you having to prove it. You've got this. I believe in you.